ba ba ma ma ma. So it's more powerful with a double B right there instead of just a na. It goes up and then it falls without, if you use the someone, it just kind of falls, but if some, it's stronger with the double. So playing tennis is fun. What's the subject of that sentence?
Playing.
Yeah, very good. They're saying playing, but it's really, if you said playing tennis, you're right. Tennis is part of the gerund phrase, but they put the S over playing because this playing is going to agree with the singular verb. If your subject is a gerund, the verb is always going to be singular, okay? Gerund is the subject, okay? In B, what do we enjoy?
Playing tennis.
Playing tennis. And notice they put the O for object right over the gerund. Gerund object. Okay, and C, he's excited about what? Playing tennis. This time, the playing tennis is the object of the preposition about. So we see the gerund in three different positions. Three different positions. It's as the subject of a sentence, as the direct object of the verb, or as the object of a preposition. Okay? Gerund can be in three different places in the sentence. Three different places. It's possible. Now they're going to show us infinitives. Okay, to play tennis well takes a lot of practice. Okay, what is the subject of D? To play. Can an infinitive be a subject? Yes.
Yes, we'll see.
What the heck is going on?
You know.
What the heck? Does this happen very often in English?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
It's not that often.
No,
Not that
I will
often.
tell you need to practice a lot.
Okay, this is
to
rare.
play tennis well.
This doesn't happen very much, but it can.
To play tennis.
It can happen. So if you see something like this, don't freak out. Do not freak out. Okay?
But any time you can replace it with infinitive or gerund, or in this case you have to put only infinitive. I
There's
can say
another-
playing tennis well takes a lot of practice. Yeah?
Yeah, so playing tennis, yes, you could say playing tennis well takes a lot of practice. To play tennis well takes a lot of practice.
I
And they're
mean-
both correct.
In any other sentences, I can use either infinitive or gerund, or only in this case.
As the subject, because
As the subject.
it's not following another verb. It's the first element of the sentence. It's
So
the
it can be as well as gerund or infinitive.
Yes, and infinitive has another way to do it. You can also start the sentence with it. It is fun to play tennis. It is hard to learn English. Sometimes. Yeah, so gerunds sometimes jump after, infinitives sometimes come after it, and then the be. And the it is really an infinitive. It represents the infinitive or infinitive phrase. A phrase that begins with an infinitive and then invites some more word friends to join it in the phrase. Okay, he likes what? He likes to play. He likes to play. The infinitive is the object of the direct object of the verb. Okay, so infinitive can be a subject, or infinitive can be an object of the verb. That's what they're showing us here. We're going to see more. Infinitive can also come after an adjective too. Okay, but it's in an object position. Subject position, object position. Okay. Okay. So yeah, if it's a subject, there's no verb before it. It's the very first thing in the subject. That can happen. The problem is when it's an object. This is the problem. So enjoy is followed by a gerund, okay? But like can be followed by an infinitive or the gerund. But enjoy can only be followed by a gerund. And that's where you have to start memorizing, is in the object position. Direct objects of the verb. That's where you have to memorize. Living and living. Living can be difficult sometimes. Living things need care.
Things.
What?
Because things, plural.
Living things
Plural.
Это живые существа.
Вещи.
Окей?
А
Живые это
какие?
живые существа. Живые вещи не говорят. Это просто живые вещи.
So I've shown living. Oh, here's another one.
Ты вещи, надо слово перевел. Живые вещи. Живые существа.
living creature.
Why?
Well, that's fun.
It can be also another one. The man living on the next door. The man living on the next door.
Просто next door. Man living next door. Next door, это получается, он это не живет.
Next door.
Next door. It's the same as living thing? No, it's not.
Same as
No, it's not.
No living.
Marina?
Leaving the house alone scares me.
Yeah?
Yes.
That would be like this one. You made a gerund subject. You said living alone,
Leaving the house alone.
living in the house alone.
No. Like leaving. No, it's different. Like. Okay.
Okay, because then there's something else.
Yeah. I know. Okay.
имеется в виду покинуть дом.
So we have a pronunciation thing, living and leaving, living, leaving, living, leaving. E, living, leaving. Okay, so this is I. This is E. Can you hear a difference?
Yes.
Oh my, it's a big difference, isn't it? Okay, so the pronunciation problem is that for many of you, when you see this little I right here, your eyes tell your brain, you know what?
Very little I.
This is pronounced like that, right? In many of your languages, the little I, the short I, it's pronounced E. But in English, it could have many different sounds. And one sound, the short I sound is I. Many other languages don't have the short vowels. I, a, a. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm just making our short vowel sound. Okay, so this is I, living. Living. Okay, what is the infinitive for living?
To live.
To live. To live. To live. So I put some examples here. So what is the job of living in sentence number 1? What job?
Subject.
Grammar job.
Subject.
Yeah, so this is a subject, and this is the verb. So it's the subject of the verb. Okay, what about number 2? What is the job of living?
Adjective. It's an
Not
adjective.
so sure.
Adjective.
Okay, what's the verb?
Need.
Okay, and this is an object. Okay, what needs care?
Things.
What kind of things need care? Living things. Do dead things need care?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. If there's a dead tree across your front lawn or across your driveway and you can't drive your car out of your house, yeah, you have a problem with the dead tree, right? And you have to take care of that problem. Yeah. Okay. So living here, this is the subject, and this is an adjective. And just for fun, together, this noun, I think this is part of a noun phrase. So an adjective and a noun together might be part of a noun phrase. That's the subject here. But the important word here is things. This is just an adjective. Okay, I put this sentence right here. The man living next door is my uncle.
It's a reduced
Who
adjective
remembers?
clause.
Yeah, who remembers adjective clauses? I took out 2 words to make it shorter. To go from an adjective clause to an
The man
adjective
read. Who
phrase.
is?
Who are.
Take out the who
Is.
and take out the be, and we have a reduced adjective clause, which is called an adjective phrase. The man who is, the man that is. Okay, so I took out the who or the that and the helping verb, and I got the man living next door is my uncle.
It's not considered as a gerund.
No, because gerund acts like,
No,
I can answer that question. Because originally, in the original sentence, it was who is living, that is living, he is living, the original sentence. This living was never a subject. It was always ever a verb. It was never a subject. Gerunds look like verbs, but they act like what?
Subject or object?
No. Like a noun.
No.
What do nouns do in the sentence? Nouns are subjects
Or
or objects. Objects of verbs or objects of prepositions. Gerunds are like nouns. They work like nouns. Okay? This living here was always a verb. A man who is living. Okay? And here's leaving a note is a nice thing to do for your partner. Leaving a love note. What is the subject of the sentence?
Living a long life.
So all of these words, and then here's the verb. So the subject for is this gerund phrase. Okay, but the subject is leaving. Okay, so something is a nice thing to do. I think we did something very similar to this just now. What is the job of walking right here?
Subject.
Subject.
This is the subject of the verb is. What is the job of are playing?
Verb.
Verb. Presence. Progressive.
Main verb. There's not a gerund, this is present progressive main verb. That was a surprising, when is a noun.
That's the adjective, like a participle.
If when is a noun, then surprising is an adjective. Okay, so there's an activity here where they want you to read these sentences and they want you to check the sentences that have gerunds. If it's not a gerund, see if you know which part of speech it is. So I'm going to let you find a partner right now.
It's too simple.
It's too simple? Alex, can you do for us one A, B, and C,
For
please?
sure. The A is gerund, the
Schedule,
B is
present.
verb, and the C is just adjective.
Yes,
Very
progressive
good.
scheduling practices.
Okay, so Alex said
Subject. Would you consider
he did one A, B, and C for us.
Again, subject.
He said, this is a gerund. Okay, by Tim, only A.
Consider.
Only A.
First is present progressive. Second is adjective, and third is gerund.
And you said second is a gerund.
No.
No,
No.
it's
No.
adjective.
Adjective.
Okay, something doesn't work.
Scheduling practices.
Also
Practices
It's
that
a gerund.
Huh?
Which for me is
Scheduling
adjective, by
practices.
C it doesn't, but for me just adjective. Schedule practices.
As a subject.
Okay, so the problem, the confusing part is right here, the scheduling. So, is this word describing?
Yes.
That's for
Is
me,
this,
yes.
does this answer the question, what kind
Yes.
Yeah.
of practices?
No, no.
For me,
Yes.
yes.
Scheduling what?
Scheduling is the subject.
Sched-
Practices describe scheduling.
Or is this word doing something?
Doing something.
Is this kind of like an object of this word?
Yeah.
Are the practices receiving some action from this?
Yes.
For me it's just adjective.
Can schedule be a verb? Can I
Yes.
say we need to schedule the meeting? Let's schedule a meeting. Is schedule a verb?
Yes.
To schedule?
Yes.
Yes.
Schedule can be a verb. If it can be a verb, it can be an infinitive or a gerund. Okay, so this, okay, so it's doing this. We could say, let's change scheduling to putting. Let's change it to putting, okay? Putting in the calendar, to put it in your calendar. Okay, so putting practices
Take off.
in the afternoons
For the afternoon.
doesn't work.
For me, schedule just keep.
I don't know.
What if I change scheduling to
I'm
making?
trying.
Making practices, this is a noun, by the way. This is a noun. This is not a verb. Practices are like rehearsals, sports rehearsals.
It's like playing things on the court
Yes.
is
Назначение.
Yeah.
Bingo. Bingo.
Назначение.
Okay? So, doing this in the afternoons doesn't work. Doing something doesn't work.
So can we say schedule practices for the afternoon don't work?
What's the subject?
Practices.
Nope.
Schedule practices.
Scheduling is the subject. Look at what they did here. They put singular. This is singular. Why did they say does and not do?
Because gerund always singular.
Because the subject
Scheduling
is a gerund.
doesn't
Так я
work,
тебе, так все правильно, так я из-за этого понимаю, что такие люди.
They gave you a hint.
Что schedule practices.
They gave you a hint on the verb.
Чтобы уже practice.
Okay? This is a gerund. It's doing something to these practices. It's not describing what kind of practices. This is doing something. It's putting the practices in the afternoon doesn't work. Doing it, not describing the practices, doing something to those practices. This is a gerund. Okay, and Nastya said there's a gerund here. Would you consider
Again, the same.
scheduling? Okay, so consider is always followed by a gerund.
Would you
So it's
consider?
not consider to do something. I'm gonna say that again. It's not consider to. It's consider doing it. Consider scheduling. Consider taking. Consider going.
Or consider about.
What if we said scheduling meetings at midnight doesn't work?
It's the same thing, right?
Can you feel that that's the same? Scheduling meetings at this crazy hour doesn't work. Doing this at that time doesn't work.
That's a good example.
Yeah, I
Doing this.
understand, but for me, I have to memorize it.
Doing it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Putting it at that time doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. It's the subject, that's why they did this here. Drinking something with electrolytes, bye-bye, is important after a race. Gerund is drinking something, gerund phrase, the gerund is the subject, because notice they put the is. They put the is because of this gerund. Oh, with
I wish it
electrolytes.
was about drinking water.
Is there any drinking water nearby? I'm
That
really
one is
thirsty.
adjective.
This is adjective.
Finally, finally.
Alex, do you see the difference? Drinking water
We need
and
more
scheduling
space
water.
in our brains to remember.
Okay, Alex, what kind of water do I need?
Sparkling.
Sparkling? Sparkling water?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with any drinking water, actually. Just,
Anyhow, it's adjective. Sparkling, drinking.
what, my question was,
No, no.
what kind of,
What kind
what kind of water? Drinking water. But there's something about music. If you're already familiar with the melody, if you already know the melody, and if